Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the newest episode of Generations of the Game. I'm one of your co-hosts, JP, and of course, the pilot that keeps this plane going. You introduce yourself, good brother.
What's going on, world? JP, my brother, you already know. Will back in the building from the Lions Den.
Yes, sir. The Lions Den. Definitely follow the Lions Den as well, y'all. They have very good content on there. But Will, let's get started, bro. We start with it's gonna be the football thing edition today of Generations of the Game. But first, we got to start off with everybody's talking about in the world of football. The big trade that went down on Thursday, the shocking trade that went down. Micah Parsons is no longer a Dallas Cowboy. He went
Yep.
actually to the Green Bay Packers. Oh, excuse me. Went to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Shocking trade, and as a result of that, because he went to Green Bay, he signed a 4-year, $188 million contract, which makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history. So, Will, we're going to start with you, brother. What do you think about this trade, man? What grade would you give it? Or for the Packers side and the Cowboys side?
For the Packers, bro, I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A. Absolutely. You know, uh, you got to look at draft picks as it's almost like cryptocurrency. Like it's a thing, but it's not. Until the player is on the team and performing. So, as of right now, they sent 2 picks that could be great, could be washing out the league. So who knows on the value there. And then Kenny Clark, man, he's a decent player, man. But Micah Parsons, bro, that brother is different, and he's young. Like that's the thing about it. Like he's like young, like, and I know we're going, get your opinion on it too. But I can't think of a time, at least that I can remember, that one city has been devastated by trades of star players the way that the city of Dallas has. Losing Luca and then Parsons in a span of like 6 to 8 months is absolutely insane, bro. I don't even think you could make this trade on Madden. Like that's how obscene this was.
Yeah, bro. It was very. I couldn't believe it. I actually had to confirm it first when I saw it. Like, nah, this can't be real. But I saw it, man, and like you said, Kenny Clark is a very very good player, defensive tackle, good defensive tackle. But also as well, bro, people don't understand those draft picks that Dallas is getting. They're more than likely going to be late first round picks. I'm talking about anywhere from 29 to if they make the Super Bowl to like 31 or 32. They're not going to, I mean, and not to say they can't be impact players, because they are going to probably go get a decent player at least with 29 to 32, but they're not going to get anybody. I mean, most likely they're not going to get anybody that's on the tier of Micah Parsons. Once again, Jerry Jones shoots himself in the foot. And like I tell Cowboy Nation out there, how many times are y'all going to be a bunch of suckers to Jerry Jones? Y'all go down there, pack that place in every time, and for the last 30 years, he's giving you nothing. He's giving you nothing. Why do you keep going down there? I know a couple of my friends, they going down there to the Cowboys-Eagles game. I talked to one of them. He was like, man, I'm sorry I bought a ticket because you keep going down there. You keep going down there, spending money, making that man rich. There's a reason why Dallas Cowboys are relevant, because you Dallas Cowboy fan suckers keep going down there. Well, what do you feel about this, bro? About like
Bro.
the whole thing with Jerry Jones. To me, running this thing like he's in the damn plantation. It's crazy, man.
Listen, bro, they need to put Jerry Jones in a home. Like this is insane, bro. Like insane. He had no problem paying Dak, no problem paying CD Lamb. You gotta load up on the other side of the ball. And you had one certified, star player on that side, outside of the cornerback. I can't think of his name, Diggs, I think. But
Diggs.
yeah, Parsons is that level of player. Like you pay him and you figure the rest out. Like Jerry, they need to do a boycott, because I agree with you. To continue to pay your money, and when you're talking NFL, like those tickets are not cheap by any means.
Uh-uh.
You know, so the tickets, the merch, buying beer and shit at the stadium, like you are lining this man's pockets, and he continually is giving you the finger every season. Like when you think, it's time for your team to improve, he like, just wait, we're actually gonna get worse.
Hmm. Yeah, man. It's just crazy how Jerry does things and stuff, man. I think Jerry personally might be losing it, bro. It's wild. It's wild the way he just does it stuff. I mean, you talking about one of the premier pass rushers in this league. Now, some people would say, well, he didn't produce in the playoff. He got one sack or whatever. Yeah, okay, you could say that. But overall, though, Dallas wouldn't be where they're at without him, though. That's the thing. And you know what, Will? That's bad news for me, man. Just when I think, just when I think the Bears will be coming on to them Packers, man, like a step or two behind. And what do? They go out there and get Micah Parsons, bro. They go out and they already got a good, solid team. They're definitely going to be Super Bowl contenders. They're definitely going to be one of the top four teams in the league. Because I got the Eagles, of course. I got Buffalo, Kansas City, and Eagles, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Buffalo, and the Packers. And Detroit. I mean, they're definitely all going to be contenders. But right now, I would say the Packers probably have the second best odds of the Eagles of getting to the NFC Championship game, man. With what they got, man. NFC North's going to be loaded. But Jerry Jones can't get out of his own way, bro. He can't get out of his own way. And like I said, you don't wish this on anybody. You're not talking about it in that way. The Dallas Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl as long as that man is in charge and has say in what's going on.
That's a fact, bro. I mean, like, he literally runs it like it's my way or the highway. I'm gonna just do whatever I want. And in this day and age, so many other owners have looked at it like, I'm going to take a step back and empower the people that I pay big money for their expertise. And you see the difference in what's happening. Look at the Eagles organization. Look at the
Yep.
Eagles organization. Look at what as of late. Look at the Chiefs organization. Look at the Ravens. Front office. Like, just look at the difference in how some of these franchises are run. Like, you you watch the Cowboys, year to year, and it's almost like you gave your 8-year-old cousin the controller in franchise mode on Madden, like the things that you see happening. It's like, what was the logic behind this? Like, I can't see it. To trade, I'm not gonna call Parsons the G word. He's really good though. He's not, I can't go G word, but I saw a stat that I believe he's the only person, not maybe only, but since Reggie White, he's the only player to have like 12 or more sacks or something like that in each of his 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, you getting compared to Reggie White, man, you doing something right.
You
And
on your way.
the playoff point that people keep bringing up, you got to look at things with context. Look at the rosters that the Cowboys have had. How many times is Michael Parsons seeing single coverage, especially in a
True.
playoff atmosphere? When you look at that, at that point, he's doing his job. If he's causing enough pressure where they're putting 2, maybe 3 guys on him, it's time for somebody else on that line to get something done.
Yeah. I I agree, bro. It's just this whole thing, man. It's just crazy, man. And man, well, I lost my train of thought for a second. It was something. Oh, excuse me. Another thing that Jerry said too was that, I mean, another thing that Jerry did too that was to me, that was like slime ballish in my opinion, was trying to meet with Michael one on one without his agent. That's dirty as you can get, bro.
Yeah, you don't do that.
You
That's
don't do
bad
that.
business.
You don't do that. And here's the thing: what's going to happen with George Pickens when he's going to want more money or whatever? Because George Pickens' agent is Micah Parsons' agent, and
Yep.
Jerry has to negotiate with him as well.
And
So
that's
I
another
don't.
young player.
Yeah, another young talented player, George Pickens. We'll see what he does with Dallas and everything. But man, I'm telling you, but some Cowboys fans actually like this trade though. I had a friend of mine. He said it's a good trade. We get 2 first-round picks, Kenny Clark. But then I need to get on somebody. Will that damn Skip Bayless, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Skip Bayless is tap dances is all over the place. Remember when Michael first got there, the first 2 or 3 years, he compared him with Lawrence Taylor. Then talking about 11 from heaven. Remember when he said that? 11 from heaven. Now he's up there bashing Micah Parsons now, talking about he needed to go. He didn't produce the playoffs. But wait a minute. You said he was 11 from heaven. So what is it?
Man, Skip got CTE, man, from all the times he had to bang his head against the wall, man, watching the Cowboys.
Yeah. Between Cowboys and LeBron obsession every day, man. Yeah. That's the thing with Skip. Skip the long guys now he gonna be bashing Parsons now. He no longer on that team. But anyway, man, about the Dallas Cowboys though, man, they used to be the one of the prime, as much as you might hate to get Dallas and stuff, and still hate Dallas. One of the things you used to say was that should be a proud franchise. Even when Jerry Jones got that team, they were a proud franchise. But now he's burning it down, bro. He is burning that franchise down. They haven't won
All
nothing
the
in
way.
30 years. And to show you how crazy Jerry Jones is. I mean, we should have seen these signs over 30 years ago when a coach, Jimmy Jones, won back-to-back Super Bowls and got fired.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Johnson. Yep.
Jimmy Johnson got fired after winning back-to-back Super Bowls. Who does that? The man got you back-to-back Super Bowls and you fire him because of your ego. It's the same damn ego that's been going for 30 years. It's the reason why you all haven't won nothing.
Bro,
Because of the owner of that team, Jerry Jones.
that is insane, bro. Their last championship, I was a toddler.
Dang, that's a shame, man.
And we talking
That's
about generations of the game. That you seen it from the whole time. You seen it play out. I've seen it play out from that different lens. Like I'll be honest. I grew up trying to figure out why it was so many Cowboys fans. I'm like, okay, well they
they
won
ain't win nothing.
these championships like when I was like a kid and even before that. But
Yeah.
that is crazy, man. They talk about them rings like they were won more recently, and that is clearly not the case, bro.
Bro, they won those. The last time they won those rings, man, is when Ready to Die dropped by Biggie, bro. That's the last time they won anything, bro.
A
That's
Biggie release.
crazy.
That's a hell of a timestamp for that, yo.
That's a time. That's 30 years, bro.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
30 years. Last time they won everything, I was 24 years old the last time they won anything. And I'm about to be 54 in October. Come on, bro. Come on, you still these Cowboy fans around here reminiscing about the good days and stuff. Well, the good days haven't happened in the 21st century. There has been
Mhm.
no good days. It's been nothing but pain and suffering. And that's what you all get, pain and suffering because of your owner. But y'all too blind to see it and still talk about Cowboy Nation. How about them Cowboys? How about y'all winning more than 2 playoff games? Come on,
Yeah.
man.
How about them? And the thing is, bro, before we move on, it
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been like a situation like some of these teams, like the Browns. The Browns, realistically, there has not been a time where you looked at the Browns roster and expected a whole lot. But like the
Right.
Cowboys, they have had some rosters, bro. You know what I'm saying? Over the years. So really, they just find a way to shit the bed, in the front office and on the field every chance
And
they
on the
get.
field. And bruh, how many coaches have they had, let alone in the last 10 years?
Bro, they
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 had Mike, they've had, let's even name them. They had Jason Garrett. They've
mhm,
had Mike McCarthy. They've
mhm,
had who we can go to 20 years. Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells, who was it? Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and now they're on their fourth coach, Schottenheimer.
mhm. I mean,
Bruh,
they had Jason Garrett what twice?
once. I thought it was
I'm trying
once.
to think. Was it Garrett? I feel like they brought him back. I thought, but
Nah, Jason Garrett was always there, I think. Yeah. But bruh, I mean, come on, man. And yeah, as a matter of fact, you go back to 2008. And within the last 16, 17 years, they've had 4 coaches. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. That shows you. And I don't understand. Like, and trust me, Schottenheimer ain't gonna last that long neither, bro. He ain't gonna last that long.
No, like
And
exactly.
it's this whole thing but you know what, man? Like you said, man, enough of the Cowboys. Exactly where they're at, down in the basement somewhere, man. And they ain't getting better anytime soon to so-called Cowboy Nation. How about
Mm-hmm.
them Cowboys? Yeah, you are them boys. You them boys need to be down somewhere losing every week. That's what you all
Bro,
are.
they've been so horrible, bro. I haven't even heard that saying, and I don't know when.
They still say it every time they get a win. We them boys. Like I tell my Cowboy friends. I got some friends who are Cowboys fans. Like I tell them, it's every year. Your year is over by Thanksgiving. Well, it's like this year. Your year is over before the first game even began.
Mm-hmm.
So good riddance or whatever y'all got going on down there. Also, while we're sticking. Yeah, well, like I was saying though, also in other NFL news, we're going to do something right now. We got another thing to talk about too before we actually get to that topic of the NFL. Also, Terry McLaurin re-signed by Washington Commanders. He gets a 3-year, $96 million contract. 3 or 4 years, forget it. It's either 3 or 4. No, I think it's 3 years. Yeah, 3 years,
Yeah,
96
3
million.
years.
$96 million. Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be on pace. It looks like to do something special this year with Jaden Daniels. They really needed to get this done, man, to keep on letting Jaden Daniels' growth go to the next level. I mean, Terry McLaurin has been a great soldier with Washington. He's played with 7 different quarterbacks before he finally got a stable quarterback. It looks like for a long time in DC. Been a solid player, underrated, one of the best receivers in the game, man. You know, model citizen, everything with the Washington Commanders. What do you think about this re-signing of Terry McLaurin?
I mean, it was a no-brainer, man. Honestly, it took too long. When you have a player of his caliber that actually wants to be on your team, considering the losing and the various quarterbacks that he had to play with, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you lock him up ASAP, bro. Like the minute he was eligible, he should have had a deal. And I get it. It's a business, but this is good business. He literally has had 1,000-yard seasons, even before Jaden got there. So, the fact that he's still producing and just had his best season, you know, uh, double digit 13, touchdowns, you gotta lock him up, man. They got their quarterback, they got receiver one, you know, they got a competent running back core and some other like receivers and everything. Like this would, if they didn't get this done and they ended up going a Dallas route and getting rid of him, of course you hear about the year 2 slump and stuff, and we'll see. But this would have been the biggest disservice they could have done to Jaden Daniels at this stage of his career. Like they already have incredible chemistry, you know. You gotta keep that guy there, man. Like, and I'm glad they did it. I'm like, I'm not even a Commander fan, bro, but I was very happy to see it get done. Being here in the DMV, they talked about it on the local news constantly, man. So like showing him at practice, and his like street clothes and everything. So even that, like some guys in a contract dispute, they don't even show up. I feel like he still showed he cared about his teammates and showed the type of like, young man that he is, bro. Like, so you gotta keep
Mm-hmm.
people like that around your franchise.
Everything you say, I co-sign, good brother. Everything you say, you co-sign. Good community guy too. Like you said, this man has had, I think, was it 6 or 7 1,000-yard receivers with 7
Hmm.
different quarterbacks.
Yep.
Just imagine if he had, you know what I mean? And he doesn't get his just due as a receiver. He's
Yep.
definitely one of the top 5 receivers, in my opinion, in the game.
Hmm.
You saw what he could do, like you said, when he has a stable young quarterback who's on the verge of superstardom. His numbers check across the board, touchdown catches, yards, receiving, everything, catches, everything. He checked in the numbers across the board. Imagine if he had this at least quarterback consistency through his career. He would definitely be up there and as being one of the as being up there with the Tyreek Hills and the Justin Jeffersons and the my man out with the Cincinnati. You know what I'm talking
Jamar
about.
Chase. Yep.
Jamar Chase, he'd be right up there with
Mike
them.
Evans. Yep. All of them.
Mike Evans, he'd be right up there with them.
Mhm.
So it's good for him. To get this contract done, bro. But
Yep.
also, Will, moving on. Congratulations to Terry McLaurin on his well-deserved contract with the Washington Commanders. But Will, moving on as well. I think we will close this out with the NFL for this week until of course, week 1's next week. But this week coming up though, I'm sorry, Dallas and the Eagles. Who's your? I'm gonna go with you first. Who's your Super Bowl pick to win this whole thing, bro? This year.
Man, listen, brother. I know it's not easy, but I gotta be honest, man. I think it's gonna be a team with a bird. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, I think it's gonna be the Eagles with a repeat. But
Mm.
if it's not them, and I feel like I've been saying it and it hasn't happened. But if there was ever a year for Lamar Jackson to get it done, brother, it's this year.
Good choice. Good choice. You got the Eagles, but you're saying it won't surprise you if the Ravens will win the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. On the record.
On the record. And I'm on the record as well, good brother. I definitely think this is the Ravens' year. And I'm like you. I'm gonna do the opposite of you though. But the Eagles would be my second pick. But definitely my pick to win it all this year is the Ravens. They check all the boxes if you look at it. Quarterback, running back, wide receivers now, and you add DeAndre Hopkins to that as well. Solid offensive line, solid defensive line. They drafted some more defensive players. Zay Flowers at wide receivers is going to be completely healthy this year. I think that kid that played for him his rookie year, he should be completely healthy as the backup running back. One of them, what's his name? It's about Mitchell. Mitchell,
Yep.
the speedy kid, the kick returner and the running back, the backup Henry. He should be there. Linebacker crew is good, especially when you got Raekwon Smith, who's superstar linebacker in the middle. You got him. The secondary is outstanding with Humphreys and Hamilton leading the way, man. They check all the boxes. There really is no huge weaknesses on this team. And you look at the tight ends with Andrews and Likely. You got them.
Picked
It's
up
like
Zaire Alexander for nothing.
got Zaire and then let me tell you something. Zaire Alexander is completely healthy. I mean, healthy. He's as good as any quarterback in the league. You got him, Humphreys, and Hamilton. If Zaire, you just say, man, Zaire Alexander, if he's completely healthy, back to 100% the way he was in Green Bay, bruh, that secondary is amazing. The defensive line up front is very, very good. So if there's any year that Baltimore's going to win a title, it's got to be this year. Because if they don't win it this year, or at least get to the Super Bowl, when will they ever do it?
Yeah. And you know what, bro? This is not a slight what I'm about to say, because we know the older Ravens teams that won the Super Bowls, they had like all-time defenses, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
but I gotta say it, man. If Elvis Gerback could get to the bowl, if Jersey legend Flacco could get to the bowl, Lamar, brother, you got every other trophy imaginable. The pressure is on. That is the one thing they could hold against you right now. Lamar gets a Super Bowl, brother. Them lists look a lot different.
Wade, and you know what? I hear what you're saying, but also it's a complete team. It's a complete team because I remember. I mean, Lamar, could he have played better in the playoffs? Yeah, but and I know you're not saying that, but it's not on him. It's them. It's the players around him. But
Oh, of
to me,
course.
it's all mental. It's mental
Yep.
at this point with the Ravens, bro. It's mental. They gotta get over that hurdle. If they do get over the hurdle, They are as talented as any team in the NFL. They might be the most talented team in the NFL.
And the
They
crazy
might
thing
be.
is, they were in a discussion last season, and when you think about the master class all season Lamar had, and honestly, I would say he ain't even played bad in the playoffs. They were right there, bro. Like he was willing them to victory, and then the tight end dropped that pass.
Mark Andrews dropped the
Yeah,
pass. Yeah.
yeah, so
The
they,
defense, the defense didn't show up in the first half neither. They tightened up in the second half, but in
yep,
the first half they didn't play well neither.
you're right. So even that, like that was a glimpse, but now, like you said, this is. I thought it was last year, but this is the most complete, roster that they have
They've
had
had.
Lamar's tenure there.
And they added, I think I said it already, they added DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins might not be what he used to be, but in that end zone, getting maybe the tough yardage, he's
Mhm,
good. And we know, and they got solid receivers with Beckham and
mhm,
Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is the home run hitter. We know he runs like a 4-2, low 4, no, 4-3. We know he's a 4-3
mhm,
guy. That's the home run hitter. So I mean, they got receivers, they got the tight ends, like we said. The offensive
mhm.
line is good, and like you said, you got the most electrifying player in football at quarterback. So we'll see what happens, man. But if I was a betting man, my money's on the Ravens. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go put that on FanDuel or something this week coming up, bro. Put like a little $10 bet on that. See
Lock
if I can
that
put
in, bro. You might, really get a little something, end of the
might
year.
get a little something out of that, bro. Come February, not only will it be that income tax, it'll be some extra money to come along with it, bro. So
Be
you
like,
know,
damn, JP, you on the podcast with a fur on? What the hell going
nah,
on?
I ain't wearing no fur. You won't catch me. I ain't no Peter person. You about to say I won't wear no
Pimp,
fur, but
you
yeah,
know?
you might, man. You might be like Ghostface up in there, man. The way Ghost wears rock his
Oh, there you
fur.
go. You had an eagle on.
Yeah, had that eagle on my arm, man. Had that eagle on my arm. Yeah, bruh. But we're going to transition now to college football, and I'm a little excited, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to start off first with the game of the day yesterday. Ohio State versus Texas. And I got to give some of the pundits their credit. They said it was going to be a low scoring game in a defensive battle. And sure enough, it was. And what happened was the game was won down in the trenches. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. That Ohio State offensive line, they destroyed that Texas defensive line, bro. I saw one play, man, yesterday where the dude from Ohio State was blocking one of the kids from Texas. He had that dude like he was on one of them sleighs they use during off seasons, bro. That's what it looked like. Seriously, my boy replayed it. He put it back on TV. He's like, "Yo, look at this," because he used to coach football. My boy Tony, shout out to him. But he put it back. I'm like, man, that's crazy. He had that boy up there like he was on a sleigh, like one of them blocking sleighs, bruh. But it came down to that, and also it came down to the ineffective quarterbacking of Arch Manning yesterday. Will, what did you think about that game yesterday and what you saw, bruh?
I'll be honest, man. Like, if I was a betting man, I would put my money on Texas before the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm not gonna overreact. I do think that this you could say that this was Arch Manning's first um real rehearsal for the pros. And the credit to the Ohio State defense, man, they were flying all over the field, man, flying
Mm-hmm.
all over the field. Like all game long, even when before they put any points up, but especially when the game was on the line. There was a play. I want to say it was either one of the linebackers or the safeties. He was in the middle of the field as if he wasn't, you know, like he wasn't blitzing, like he was almost like in a zone. And then
Mm-hmm.
as soon as Arch started to, kind of come out on a bootleg, he came flying across the field and got the tackle. And it was really it came down to the plays like that. Arch, he you being labeled as the next big thing. You from, the quarterback family, the football family. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of hype around you, and I think all of that, weighed on him. There was some nerves there, and I think some of that, contributed to some of the missed throws and misreads that we saw. So, I'm not gonna be too harsh on him, but I will say that if this is what we see moving forward, a real conversation and a different evaluation is going to have to be, had. Um, because realistically, and I appreciated the broadcast for this too, because I feel like a lot of people that don't closely follow the game didn't know, Ohio State's quarterback was the number one quarterback in his class too. They were
Yeah.
acting like Arch is the only number one quarterback, in the world, but every year there's a number one quarterback, and saying he made some plays, you know.
He didn't look that great neither to me neither though.
No,
Like, he
no,
was
he
all
wasn't that
right,
great,
but
but he made more plays, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
That touchdown pass he had to Tate
mhm.
was about 40, 45 yards. That was a nice one that
Yeah.
he threw the ball right there to him into the end zone.
Now about Arch, I will say, really, this is one of those games, in my opinion, you just kind of throw out. It wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
blowout per se, but they
No,
didn't really do much. But like you throw this game out, but the only takeaway for me is that the kid didn't quit. He was
he didn't
playing, he was
quit.
trying to make plays. He even got that, touchdown in the fourth. We were like, I think 4 minutes left. And it looked like it was potential to really make it a game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but to be honest, and I think you'll agree, if Ohio State's offense was firing on all cylinders and did more, man, this would have been ugly, man. The way this game went, it would have been ugly. Honestly, I give credit to the defenses, man. Like, they did, decent. But both teams' offenses, man, they got a lot of work to do, man. All the players, Texas brought in, a big time playmaker in the transfer portal, a tight end. They got
Mm-hmm.
running backs galore, receivers galore. Ohio State, whole damn near NFL roster. You know, you expect to see more than
Don't
21 points, man. Like you just do.
don't forget Jeremiah Smith neither. He was definitely the best wide
Mhm.
receiver in football and maybe the best player in college football, even if
Yeah,
he doesn't win the Heisman. But he looked frustrated at times yesterday too, bro. You could tell. I mean, they got him. They got him in space a couple times to give him the ball, man. But when you got somebody like that, man, you got. And I felt as though they had a little conservative um, play calling too yesterday. Remind me some of the play calling they had against Michigan a little bit. It looked like to me, like they wouldn't turn Sand loose, but if Sand keeps playing like this, he might not be the starting quarterback neither.
hmm
Going into the future. But Jeremiah Smith did have a couple of catches yesterday. I mean, like you said, at the tight end off the portal, who's good. I think he's from Purdue. They got the receivers, Lake and Smith, incredible. The new running game. I think that's the running back from West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, that
Yep.
ran the football. He ran pretty good yesterday, man. And Ohio State had to play. We placed a lot of players too, but I do expect the offense to ramp it up coming up soon, though. But it was a pretty good game. Now, before we get to who, let's get on to this LSU versus Clemson game, which wound up being a defensive battle. Um, Clemson had the lead in Death Valley, and then LSU came back. It's a good win actually for Brian Kelly, to be honest with you, bruh. Yesterday, both defenses played outstanding, but LSU had just a little more offensive weapons to win, which is surprising because Klubeck, the quarterback for LSU, is very good.
Oh
He
yeah,
has like
that's Clemson's quarterback.
yeah, yeah. He played pretty good. And what's his name?
Nussmeyer.
Nusser
Mhm.
Nussmeyer. He played. He's a solid quarterback too. They're both considered top 10 picks in the draft or whatever. But LSU had enough to overcome Clemson yesterday in Death Valley. But how did you feel about that game last night, bro?
Listen, man, that was one of those games. It could have gone either way, but
Mm-hmm.
of course, in every victory you could say this, but I really feel like LSU came in there and they took that win. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's something too that I didn't mention about Texas's loss. When you're playing on the road, that 12 man is something serious. In college football,
Yeah.
that shit matters.
Oh yeah.
And they came in there in a hostile crowd, man, and they did what needed to be done. And I would say though, this game and another game, the Alabama I mean, not Alabama. So the Texas game, to me, that's not really an upset because you could argue that Ohio State could have been one.
Oh
I
yeah.
think the Argentina hype train just had Texas at one right now. But this was another game to me. It's not like ranking wise, it is, but it's not really an upset. These are two great teams, man, and it really could have gone either way. Um, now the game that shocked me, not so much because Florida State won, but the way they won.
How they won.
Florida State, they were dominant against Bama, man. And man, the Bauer might be about it there, man. If this is how I keep going.
Bruh. I was saying yesterday, bruh. I was telling them yesterday. I'm like, man, right now, today, them Alabama fans are hotter than fish grease right now, good brother. And
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you another thing too. He's definitely on the hot seat. He might not even make the year, bruh.
Yep.
At this point,
Them
he
Bama,
might not make the
Bama faithful
year.
don't play, bro.
I mean, look what you're used to. They
hmm
were used to a 20-year reign. What was it, 6, 7 national championships? And they
Yep.
were in the college playoff every year. They were used to winning at least 10, 11 games for at least the last 20 years. And then you come in like this, didn't make the playoffs last year, and then the first game of the year you lose to Florida State,
Yep.
bruh,
To be honest,
bruh.
man, like it's a good one, but at the same time, it's like a horrible coaching job to take, right after
I would
State, man. Like there's no way you live up to that. So, it could have been anybody realistically, but man, that guy, I feel like he was doomed from the start.
I don't know why De Beers took this job neither, bruh.
Pay
You know,
raise.
I don't understand it neither. And the quarterback play was a little suspect to me yesterday. You got the star receiver Ryan Williams. I'm telling you, man. Like I said yesterday, it won't surprise me by the end of the year. Ryan Williams might be in the portal, and you just never know. You just never know at this point. Although Alabama does have a talented quarterback from Duncanville. Oh man, Deorian. Forget his last name. But anyway, he put up some video game numbers at Duncanville last year in Texas. He's considered he was considered number 2 player in the country behind Bryce Edwards, behind Bryce Underwood. And he's a tall quarterback too, about 6'6", has a cannon of an arm, played at the super powerhouse Duncanville in Texas. But you might see his name called up soon, man, especially if Ty Simpson plays like this. You
I
might hear that
mean,
name called up soon. The running game, and actually, Alabama ran the football very well. I don't know why they went away from it if they were running the ball so well.
yeah, bro, that was a fatal mistake, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a fatal mistake, bruh. But Florida State look good, bruh. Offense and defense. They put they put a lot of heat to Simpson, and also they did a lot of different plays, man. What's his name? Number 19, Danzer. He's a 44 3/4 miler they have there. He plays football too. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. The quarterback from Boston College looked very good. Like Florida State might be on its way back, bro, to being at least a top 25 team compared to that disastrous year they had last year, which nobody expected. So, Florida State might be back in the mix. We'll see coming up, definitely in the future. Well, now we're gonna go on to our last topic. I guess no, not our last topic. We'll go on to our next topic of college football. Man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped up. I saw the future yesterday, good brother. Bryce Underwood. Actually, he had a very good showing yesterday. He had a solid showing. Solid showing yesterday. I mean, he did enough to win. I like the running back they got too, Justice Hill from Alabama. That was the leading rusher last year. He had 160 some yards and 3 touchdowns. The running game ran well. I like the tight end Klein. I like a couple of the receivers, although they dropped some passes. They had a couple miscues on special teams. They had the one that led to a touchdown from New Mexico. Defensive line looked pretty good. The only concern I have right now is that secondary for Michigan. They got to improve, especially this week coming up with Oklahoma. You know how Oklahoma like to throw the ball down the field. So it's going to be a tough game coming up this week. But Bryce Underwood, I like what they saw. I think they kept a lot of things under wraps for him, which is going to be unleashed this week, where it's running or throwing the football. I don't know if you had a chance to see the game or not. Well, what did you think about Bryce Underwood, a true freshman starting at Michigan, and yesterday against New Mexico?
I mean, you know, it wasn't the most talented opponent, but I like the composure, man, and he's already, probably the best quarterback that Michigan's had in the last at least couple seasons, man. So, you know, as he settles in, I think you guys really have something, man. Like the recruiting battle against LSU, I think it was well worth it, man. And you know, it's been a little minute, man, since I feel like Michigan, they find ways, between that dominating defense and running the ball, but since they had like a real game changer at the QB spot, man. So
Mm-hmm.
it's decent, bro. Like I'm happy to see, him come out and have a solid showing, because like we were talking about with they're not freshmen this year, but with Arch and with fuck's his name, the kid from Ohio State, saying, you know,
Just saying.
it's hard, man, come in from day one. Or even if you redshirt, it's hard to come in and immediately be ready to play and produce. So the fact that he did that, tells me a lot about him.
Well, one of the things that Bryce Underwood had that set him apart, one of the reasons why he won the job as well was because he came to Michigan at the end of December. So he had 15 practices, I guess, between the bowl games in the spring. He had 15 practices. He had about 45 practices altogether. So he's used to the system, running a certain system and stuff. So that benefited him coming in early and stuff, and getting familiar with the Michigan playbook and everything. This weekend's going to be the real test to see where not only this program is at, but also to see where Bryce Underwood is at. Because he didn't run the ball yesterday. He ran maybe one time and got negative yardage. But bruh, we know he can beat you with his legs and with his arm. So we're definitely going to see what's going to happen this week, against Oklahoma, and they got to go to Norman and that hostile crowd down there. They win this game, bruh. I might not see them. They might not lose until because remember they avoid um um the big schools, Illinois and Penn State, and them. The only tough slate they have on their schedule is with Ohio State, of course, as usual at the end of the year. But also, I think the second toughest game for them to get past this weekend would be USC. They clear those hurdles, bruh. There could be a chance they go undefeated against Ohio State coming to the Big Shoe in November. So man, we'll see, man. The young man had a very, very, like you said, he had a very, very solid outing. We're going to see if they're going to unleash him this week. And if he gets unleashed, we're going to see what he can really, really do, Will, because I like this Michigan team. They got 7.8 yards per play yesterday compared to the whole season last year. They averaged like 4 yards a play. You could tell there's a difference in excitement with the offense.
That's a big
And yeah, and everything. The defense has always been good. Defense last year was good, but the offense was maybe the worst in school history that I've seen in recent memory. But it was the defense won a lot of those games for him last year. But Bryce Underwood looks like the real deal, bro. I mean, he could throw it. You can see the strength. He's a big quarterback too, about 6'4", 6'5", about 235, 240. Could throw as a rocket of an arm. He threw a couple passes that weren't good. You expect that from a freshman. But he threw a couple passes that were brilliant that only a few could actually thread the needle with, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward, of course, to Michigan this year and see what they're going to do. But, Will, we're going to close out the show this week, and you have something for us, I believe. We're going to go over the list, the top 25 college football players in the last 25 years, which is the
Uh,
21st century so far,
yep,
25 years. Will, you mind give us the list, please, there, good brother?
absolutely, brother. We're gonna start at 25. Yeah, David Pollock, a defensive end from Georgia. To run it
Good
down,
play.
three-time AP All-American. Won the Hendricks, the Bednarik Award, Lombardi. He was a dude for sure. Number
Yeah, and
24. Oh, go ahead,
oh,
bro.
oh well, I wanted to say real quick also with him too. It's a shame he had that neck injury. His first, I think it was his first year in the NFL because he was a top 12, top 13 pick. So and that's what caused him to retire from football. Not even during his rookie season, I do believe, and not even halfway through the year, man. It's a shame. Like you said, he's a very, very good very good running back, very, very good linebacker. I remember
Yeah, that's
yeah,
brutal, bro. Retiring in year one, my goodness.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, number 24 on the list, Jersey's own Jonathan Taylor, running back out of Wisconsin. Three-time All-American, and as we know, bro, one of the most versatile backs that we've seen.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, he keeps up this trajectory for the next, I say, 3 or 4 years. He could be looking at a potential Hall of Fame career.
Yep, I can see
Uh,
it.
yeah, big running back. When he was at Wisconsin, ran wild, great player, and so far a great player in the NFL as well, bro.
hmm Number 23, real difference maker, Khalil Mack. We know his body of work in the league, but he was a real problem at Buffalo, AP All-American, Lambert Trophy winner.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, good player as well, man. Great player.
Number
Um,
22,
also, I wanted to say about Khalil Mack as well. He was very, very underrated coming into the NFL. Like I know he played University of Buffalo. A lot of people didn't really like know about him because he played at Buffalo, top 5 pick of the Raiders, and he's definitely gonna be a Hall of Famer, man. Definitely on his way to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, bro.
oh yeah, he
He
one of
had a
the
great
most
career.
disruptive defensive players of our time.
Oh yeah, I was saying the last 25 years. Yeah, the last whatever he's played in the league, definitely, man. Strip sacks, impacted games and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Number 22, back on the offensive side, Michael Crabtree, wide receiver, Texas Tech. Man, them Texas Tech offenses was something to see, bro. Oh my goodness.
Video games,
hmm Two-time
video games.
All-American, two-time Bolitnikov Award winner. Bro, that's not easy to do, bro.
Nope.
Back-to-back Bolitnikovs.
Mm, mm,
Crabtree was
mm.
different, bro.
Great college player. Had a solid
Mhm.
NFL career, but definitely a great college player. And a lot of reasons why maybe his stats are eye popping is because of the bad quarterback play he had in San Francisco until I guess like Cap had a couple good years for him, and then they were pretty good then. But Crabtree definitely was a very one of the best college receivers that we've seen. Definitely.
Yep. Next on the list. Now listen, before I say this player, I don't agree with anything of his off the field conduct, but the list is the list. Number 21, Deshaun Watson, quarterback Clemson. He
Oh
was a
man.
problem at Clemson. Like
Go
no
ahead,
way around
read the accolades, brother.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Two-time AP All-American, 2015 and 16 O'Brien and Manning Award winner, 2016 United's Golden Arm Award. And we know he was a champion as well.
Great college quarterback, man. It's a shame how his career has ended up because his trajectory early, especially early in his career, when he was with Houston, man, he was one of the best young quarterbacks in the game, man, and had a chance to do something very, very special.
Yep.
But off the court distractions and off the field distractions and everything, have really cost him a great career in the NFL.
hmm That's a fact, bro. He was a hell of a talent, that's for sure. Number 20, Andrew Luck, quarterback, Stanford. Two-time AP All-American, Maxwell Award winner, Unitas Golden Arm, and Walter Camp Award. Bro, Luck had Stanford jumping. Like he's probably the smartest quarterback I've seen since Peyton.
Bruh, if he was at any other school but Stanford, a big time school, man, it would have been insane.
Hmm.
I mean, he was good at Stanford, but I'm saying it would have been insane. He'd probably won the Heisman anywhere else.
That's a
But he
fact.
came close, and he came close there too at Stanford too. Great college quarterback. Very good pro quarterback. He retired early, which football is a brutal, forgiving sport, so I understand that. But great college player, very good NFL player.
Hmm. Number 19, sticking at Stanford, Christian McCaffrey, running back, two-time All-American, AP College Football Player of the Year in 2015, winner of the Hornung Award and the Harley and Jet Awards. One of the best all-purpose backs, like the college game and the NFL when healthy has seen.
Oh man, he's incredible, man. He's incredible. He's another one, man. He gets himself another couple years healthy and stuff, and
Mhm.
everything. Took about another 3 or 4 years. Look at a Hall of Fame career, one of the most versatile running backs of all time. You got him, Roger Craig, Marshall Faulk. Damian Tomlinson was also versatile, though he was more thought of as a pure runner than he was a pass catcher. But he caught a lot of balls at the backfield as well. But Christian McCaffrey, definitely, man. Great player in college and in the pros as well.
Hmm. Now, this is a guy, man. Hell of a career at every level, man. Joe Thomas at number 18, left tackle, University of Wisconsin. AP All American 2006 Outland and Parker Trophy winner. Bro, just flat out dominant and dominant for the Cleveland Browns this whole time that he was there.
Perennial All Pro, bro. I think he's in the Hall of Fame
Yep,
already, if I'm
it
not
is.
mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. One of the best offensive tackles we've seen in the last 25 years or so. Great player as well, man.
Number 17, Roy Williams, the safety out of the University of Oklahoma. 2001 AP All American, Thorpe Award winner, Nagurski Trophy, and Tatum Trophy. Like he used to lay dudes out, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely a great player, man. Another great player, definitely.
Hmm. Number 16, Sammy will be hyped for this one, brother. Matt Leinart, QB, USC, two-time AP All-American, Heisman Trophy winner in '04, College Football Player of the Year, Walter Camp, Manning Award, and Unitas Golden Arm winner. Man, when USC was must-see TV.
Must see TV. Great college player, flamed out in the pros, but in college, man, Matt Leinart was that dude, man, in college, bro.
Hmm. Next on the list, number 15, Sizzle, Terrell Suggs, defensive end, Arizona State, AP All American, Hendricks and Lombardi Award, Nagurski and Morris trophies. I mean, pretty much he won everything he could. Um, yes, Terrell Suggs, another guy kind of like Joe Thomas, just an impact player, man, at every level.
Dominant player. I believe his senior year, he led the nation in sacks, had 24 sacks
Hmm.
his senior year. Went to Baltimore, was on a legendary defense, of course, alongside Ray Lewis. And man, he was a great player in the NFL. And in my opinion, future. Oh, and also with Ed Reed as well. I'm sorry, man, Ed Reed
Hmm.
and Ray Lewis, but he was also part of the big three as well, man. Great player. Should be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Absolutely, brother. Sticking on the defensive side of the ball, this guy recently retired and is a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Number 14, Aaron Donald, defensive tackle out of Pitt. He's an AP All American 2013, won the Bednarik and Lombardi Awards along with the Nagurski, Outland, and Willis trophies. Now, I didn't see him at Pitt, but just from what I saw from him in LA, Man, Donald, I know the knock on him was his height, but it didn't matter. He was one of the most chaos causing defensive players by far, of the last 20, 25 years, easy.
Bruh, all I can say is this. If I had a defensive line to start, all time defensive line, my ends will be Reggie White and maybe Bruce Smith on the other end. The tackles would be maybe it's between so many great tackles, man. So many great players, man. Uh One of the tackles, it would come down to Warren Sapp or Joe Green for one of maybe Joe Green. I would go a little more. Joe Green with the Steelers, me and Joe Green with the Steelers. But that other tackle position, bruh, gotta go to Aaron Donald, bruh. Aaron
Hmm.
Donald is one of the best defensive players we've ever seen. And as far as an interior lineman, if somebody says he's the best defensive tackle we ever seen, I really can't argue that, bruh. I mean, the stats speak for themselves. I mean, think about this. He's an interior lineman, and 1 year he got 20 sacks.
Hmm.
Definitely one of the and in the last 25 years, he might be the best defensive player in the last 25 years. And because remember, I always have Reggie, Dion, you know, you know what? Ray Lewis is there too. Him and Ray Lewis are probably the two because Ray Lewis came around, I guess around 2000 or so in his prime. Yeah, Ray Lewis and Aaron Donald, in my opinion, might have been the two most dominant defensive players of the last 25 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's right there, brother, for sure.
Yeah, he's right there. He's an all time great, man. And you don't throw that term out loosely, but nah, when they say all time greats, he's an all time great.
Hmm. Number 13, Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. Now, to some people, that might sound crazy, but if you are familiar with this young man's college body of work, two-time AP All-American, 2020 Heisman Trophy winner as a wide receiver, Bolitnikov, Hornung, Maxwell, and Walter Camp Award, along with the AP College Football Player of the Year. The man's, trophy case is stacked just off one season, 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae, he was the truth at Bama. Like he's a for sure impact player for the Eagles, but he was that dude at Bama. Which isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. When you built almost more like a track and field or basketball player.
Devontae Smith definitely one of the best wide receivers we ever seen in college football history. We got to remember he almost got 2,000 yards receiving his
Hmm.
senior year. He's putting up Madden video game type numbers playing against the computer, bro. When he was at Alabama. Um, 18, I think he had 1,895 yards or something like that.
Yep.
22 touchdowns receiving, bro. He was just a dominant receiver. And he's been a very, very good NFL player. If he was on any other team, he'd be a number one wide receiver and be putting up crazy numbers. But because he plays on a team that likes to run the football, has another great wide receiver alongside him, AJ Brown, he didn't get his just due of what he should. But Devontae Smith is just a great football player, period. And in Alabama, he cream of the cream, man. That offense was crazy. We talk about LSU's offense. That following year, that offense was crazy too, with him and Waddle and Najee Harris. And they had the quarterback, I forget his name. He was a first round pick too. Irv Smith, I think he was a tight end. He was um, a top 20 pick in the NFL, bruh. But Devontae Smith, man, he was amazing. He was amazing, especially his senior year. He was unstoppable.
That's facts, bro. It ain't seem like he had any weaknesses out there. Number 12, dual impact. Travis Hunter, cornerback slash wide receiver, University of Colorado. Two-time AP All-American, 2023-24 Hornung Award, won the Heisman in 24 and the Bednarik, Belitnikov, Walter Camp, Lott Trophy, and AP College Football Player of the Year. Another guy that the trophy case speaks volumes. He's probably the freshest addition, I would say, because he just got drafted. But Travis Hunter was a sight to be seen, man. Like and when the guys play Pee Wee, they play high school. You see some guys, that play both sides of the ball and have an
Mm-hmm.
impact. But to do it like this, like bro, he was wide receiver one legitimately
Mm-hmm.
and locking up a whole side of the field, bro. Like, and the amount of snaps he was playing was out of this
It's
world.
crazy.
Like
It was
his
crazy.
conditioning might be up there as the best we've ever seen, bro. To play at a high level, both sides of the ball, the way that he did.
Travis Hunter, in my opinion, has a resume we consider a top 5 college football player ever. We don't know what he's going to do in the pros. But like you said, you need a touchdown, you get you a touchdown receiving. You need a big play in a shutdown corner. He did that. Definitely, maybe, like you said, maybe the best athlete we've seen in college football in the last 25 years. Definitely. And we got to remember Travis Hunter was also very dominant in high school as well. So he plays both sides there. But man, I mean, come on, man. He won the Blitnikoff and the Heisman. That's something that's just amazing. But
Mhm.
amazing player. Like I said, one of the best we've ever seen.
Number 11 is getting good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, quarterback, Louisville, two-time AP All-American, 2016 Heisman Trophy, Maxwell Walter Camp Award, and AP College Football Player of the Year. One of the most electric players we've ever seen by far. You know, I mean, I feel like he did the most he could do, at Louisville, man. But that guy, my lord, bro, he was must see TV. And I remember thinking about one of the other players on the list, that duel that was one of my favorite games that I've seen between Lamar's Louisville and Deshaun Watson's Clemson
John
squad,
Watson.
man. Like that's one of the best quarterback matchups that I've seen.
Lamar Jackson, amazing at Louisville. Definitely deserved that Heisman that year. One of the most, it's between him and Michael Vick, in my opinion, as being the two most electrifying players we've seen, especially two most electrifying, not only two of the most electrifying players, but also two of the most electrifying quarterbacks that we've seen. Lamar Jackson, um, one is pros. Remember, they wanted him to be a wide receiver in the
Mhm.
NFL. Has turned to be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. On his way definitely to a Hall of Fame career, even with or without a Super Bowl. Great player. Man, he's exceeded all expectations, bro. But I remember that junior year at Louisville, man. He had one of the best years ever for a quarterback, definitely.
They definitely try to give my boy the Terrell Pryor treatment, bro. Yeah, I'm definitely glad he's had the success that he's had.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 10, Brian McKinney, left tackle, Miami. They taking it back a little bit. 2001 AP All American, winner of the Outland Trophy and the Parker Award. This is
Mm-hmm.
a guy that I would say the era he played in, the time he played in, he doesn't get his full justice because at the time they didn't have advanced stats for offensive linemen the way that they do now. But I do know for sure that he had it on lock, bro. You are not getting past Brian McKinney when he was at the U.
Brian McKinney had a very solid NFL career, but Brian McKinney as a college lineman, bruh, he was one of he was he no he might have been the most dominant um offensive lineman we've seen in the last 20. I mean, the whole thing we're talking about right now in the 25 years.
Mhm.
He might have been the best college lineman.
I think that's what they have him rated as. I think the only other one on the list was Joe Thomas. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was like you said, he was just dominant. He would just shut like that whole left side he did would just shut you down, bro. You could forget it. I thought he could have been. I thought he had a very very good pro career, but I really thought he was going to be like, what's my man from play for the Cowboys who was dominant during that era with when they won the Super Bowls? Eric Williams. He reminded me a lot of Eric Williams when they were motivated. They could just shut you down and you're not getting nothing.
Yep, bro. He's an all-time
And,
college player for
and,
sure.
and you know where he was from, right?
Nah, where is he from?
Woodbury.
Oh yeah, I definitely ain't know that. Damn, that's
Yeah,
what's
he
up.
played at Woodbury. He had to go to, I think he went to JUCO before he went to Woodbury, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went to JUCO, but he was a mountain of a man too. He was like 6'8", 6'9", like 330, 335. He was a mountain of a man.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to see him getting his due, man. Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, but bro, he's one of the best college offensive linemen we've ever seen, regardless of what era.
Number 9, Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Texas Tech and Oklahoma. 3-time AP All-American, winner of the 15 and 16 Burroughsworth Trophy, 17 Heisman, Manning, Maxwell O'Brien, Walter Camp Awards, and AP College Player of the Year. Baker was nice, man. There's no
Yeah.
debating that. I mean, number 1 pick, you know, he was another one of those guys that was must see TV. Now I know we're gonna get into this. However, looking at the quarterbacks on this list, I do feel they are deserving. But I'll say this for our conversation: I would just say there's a guy that I'm shocked I haven't seen his name. But I want to hear your take, brother, on Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield definitely deserves to be on the top 25 list. Great, good, very, very good college quarterback has turned into a solid pro after being a bust his first couple years. I thought he was going to be out the league, but he turned things around to be a solid quarterback for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very,
Yep,
very,
brother.
I mean, great college quarterback, definitely.
Really dope redemption story for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 8, one of my favorite wide receivers of all time, Larry Fitzgerald, Pittsburgh. 2003 AP All American, Bolitnikov, Walter Camp, and Warfield winner. I mean, when I think of a wide receiver, and I know everybody has their preference. Larry probably has the best, like, just hands, bro. Most consistent set of hands that I've seen. And he's played with, like, Kurt Warner, but he also has played with a bunch of random guys, and and Carson Palmer. No disrespect to Carson Palmer, but Larry has produced no matter who was throwing the ball to him.
Yeah. Um, Larry Fitzgerald, great college career, great NFL career as well. Um, Man, what can you say? Definitely a Hall of Famer, one of the best wide receivers we ever seen in both college and NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
and also maybe had the best run of a wide receiver that year when the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl and almost won the Super Bowl against the Steelers.
hmm Man, he and Anquan was phenomenal, bro.
Phenomenal. And he's
Number,
another one.
but
I was going to say real quick, Will. He's another one too. They played with, like you said before, before Kurt Warner got there. His quarterback, it wasn't that great neither, but he still put up great numbers.
number 7, man, Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU. 2019 AP All American, Heisman Trophy winner, Lombardi, Maxwell Manning, United's Golden Arm, Walter Camp, AP College Football Player of the Year, every damn award you could possibly win in a season. And statistically, probably the best quarterback season that we've had in the last, I don't even know, bro. Like, the only person just pure numbers wise that I feel like you could compare to him would be what's his name? Colt Brennan from Hawaii. But even Colt Brennan and old boy from Boise, um, they did not play the level of competition that Joe Burrow was playing against at LSU. And yes, he's playing with arguably number 1 and number 2 wide receiver in the league, but he still got to produce. And his numbers at LSU was video game shit, bro.
Bruh, let me tell you something. The top 3 seasons ever, in my opinion, in college football history, you can rank them wherever you want. Joe Burrows, Cam Newton, Barry Sanders. My opinion, it comes down between him and Barry Sanders, in my opinion, for the best seasons I ever seen. Cam is right there with him, but that year that Joe Burrows had, like you said, bro, they were video games numbers that you play on a freshman level of college, of EA college football 2020, 2025, bro. Like those, I said, freshman level, the easiest level you can find. Put a video game numbers like that, bro. He was, man, look, that was the best season I ever seen from a quarterback, in my opinion.
I agree, bro. Like, listen,
I think he's too low because if we talk about seasons, I think he should be definitely a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion.
Nah, listen, bro.
Player, in my opinion.
I'm with you. He's got to be higher for sure. Like, if I made a list, he would be higher.
Yeah, 7's too low for Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows had an average year before he went to LSU, but that last year, LSU, goodness gracious.
Number 6. Woo. Ed Reed, safety, Miami. 2-time AP All-American. One of the greatest defensive players the game has ever seen. By far.
Bruh, great college player, even a better pro player. Maybe the best safety we ever seen in NFL history.
He's number 1 on my list for sure.
It's him, Ronnie Lott, but I might have to put Ed number 1, bruh. I might have to put him as being the best safety ever, bruh, because I think he is number 1 on my list as well, bruh, because he could do it all. And the thing about it is his numbers don't drop. I mean, he wasn't a freak athlete the way Kyle Hamilton is with Baltimore. Kyle Hamilton's like, what, 6'4", 6'5", 4'3" guy. Ed was more like a 4'5" guy, but he might have some of the best football instincts I ever seen. Also a great leader as well. A great team leader and intangibles, great guy in the locker room, man. Refused to lose, never really quit, man. Yeah, Ed Reed was that dude, bro.
Absolutely. And I know, Ray Lewis, rightfully so, gets a lot of, respect for being a leader, for the speeches and everything. But Ed was a real leader of men as well.
Oh, yeah, they both were. Definitely. I mean, you talk about the best, one of the top 2 or 3 linebackers of all time. You definitely talk about one of the top 2 or 3 linebackers all the time with Ray Lewis. I still have LT number 1, but you talk about him, but you also talk about Ed Reed, man. Ed Reed was amazing, bro.
That's a fact. Number 5, the player that really got me paying attention to college football, Vince Young, quarterback, Texas, AP All-American, Manning, Maxwell and O'Brien Award, and one of the reasons behind one of the most thrilling college football games of all time. Really just football games of all time. That matchup against the loaded USC team.
Definitely one of the best games we ever seen, man. There's a lot of weird stuff that USC was doing that game, man, with Pete Carroll, especially that Reggie Bush fumble, which my mind's going blank, man. It's been so many years ago, but I think they could have challenged that. Or no, Reggie Bush really didn't have an impact on the game after that, which to me was crazy because he was the Heisman Trophy winner that year. But anyway, we're talking about Vince Young. Vince Young also had one of the best bowl games we ever seen as well against USC as well. He was just so dominant in that game against the man. I mean, Vince Young, they could have a statue built of him down in Texas, bro. He down there, man. He the man of the town down there. Had a good NFL career. I think his game would be better today than it was back then. He was more at the athleticism of the games based off about a quarterback position. I think he had a very good career. Very versatile. I think his arm, the way his arm mechanics were, that kind of hurt him a little bit. Why he didn't reach his full potential of being an all-time great. But Vince Young was very versatile, bro. He had, like I said, he had a good career, but certain intangibles he could have been an all-time great, man. I mean, athleticism-wise, very few quarterbacks in history had the freakish ability that Vince Young had. And I agree with you, bro. He was simply amazing. at the University of Texas.
That's
Excitement, Mr. Excitement, bro.
that's a fact, brother. Number 4, man, it's getting mean. And Ndamukong Suh, defensive tackle, Nebraska, AP All American, Bednarak, Lombardi, Nagurski, Outland, Willis Trophy, AP College Football Player of the Year. Yeah, Sue was one of those dudes. Like, I mean, that's the game of football. It's a tough game, but he just played with such a mean streak, bro. You know, and to the point where some of the plays was questionable, but he put legitimate fear in the other, in the opposing team every time he stepped out there.
Yeah, man, as good as a defensive tackle you got in college football history was Sue, man. I mean, you could have made a case for him winning the Heisman Trophy that year at defensive
Mhm.
tackle that year at Nebraska. I mean, he carried him to a bowl. I think they played. I know they played the bowl game. I forget, was it the national championship? I forgot which bowl they played in. But I know they lost. But man, he was as dominant could be. Also had a
Mhm.
very very good pro career. It all depends on how the voters see him. But in my opinion, should be a Hall of Famer as well. He's a very good player. But in college, man, he was a absolute monster.
Yeah, he's definitely, in my opinion, a NFL Hall of Famer, man. He
Yes, in
should
my
be.
but we'll see how the voters go. You know how flip
Yep.
floppy they can be at times, but in my opinion, he should definitely be a Hall of Fame player as well.
hmm Number 3, running out of spots. Reggie Bush, running back, USC, Mr. Electric, two-time AP All-American, Heisman Trophy winner, Doak Walker, Walter Camp, Jim Brown Trophy, AP College Football Player of the Year. This was strictly talking college. This was my generation's Barry Sanders. What he did for the game, the kick returns, in the passing game, running the ball. Reggie Bush was like a video game character in real life. That's the easiest way to explain it, man. Like, I we've seen some great backs, but I have not seen, outside of watching Barry and another player from before my time, Marshall Falk. I would say, have I seen this type of versatility and ability, man?
Man, Reggie Bush had a case easily for being number one on this list, bruh. Maybe the most electrifying football player we've ever seen. I would say by far he had the best performance I ever not by far, but I would say he had the best performance I ever seen in college football history. That game he had against Fresno State. I don't know if you remember that game, Will. He had
Yes,
like
sir.
over. You remember that?
Man, he went crazy, bro.
Bruh, I ain't never seen nobody have a game like that, bruh. I mean, he had like what, close to 600 yards, like total offense, like 5 or 6 touchdowns. I ain't never seen nobody have a game like that, bruh. That might have been the greatest performance I ever seen. He won that game all by himself, bruh. He won that game. I mean, he did it all. Returning the ball, rushing the ball, receiving the ball. I mean, man, Reggie Bush was incredible. He had a good pro career, but I thought Reggie Bush was going to be like Gale Sayers, just and he was just so fast too. Like he was just electrifying. I mean, in my opinion, the most electrifying football player I ever see when you give him the ball on the field, bro, was Reggie Bush, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, bro. I thought he was gonna be an all timer, man. And then once he got hit by that safety from the Eagles, bro, it was never the same.
He had a couple good years with Miami where he showed toughness actually running the football.
hmm
He made the Pro Bowl, I think, 2 or 3 times running the football, but I don't think New Orleans gave him the chance to do what he could have done. I mean,
No, they did.
he proved he could run between the tackles too. Remember, people saying, "Well, can he run between the tackles? Can he overpower people?" I think he proved that, but it was just so long in the game before he actually had a chance to show what he could do. And I agree, man. That Sheldon Brown hit on Reggie Bush in the playoffs. My goodness
Mhm.
gracious! I thought he took the stomach off of, bruh.
And to be fair to Reggie, it is hard, bro. Like, the way he played in college, obviously not every player in college makes it to the highest level, for a reason, you know.
Mhm.
So you're out there with the cream of the crop every single game. The coordinators, the coaches, this is the best of the best every single game. Now, they're scheming for you in a way you never been, scouted before.
Mhm.
The way the offense uses you, all of that matters. So, I give some grace with Reggie, man. He had a quality career, but coming out of college, I know everybody's expectation was like, bro, he about to rewrite the books.
I don't know if I ever saw him being rewrite the books like as far as rushing for 2,000 yards and something like that because I know he might like people consider him a little bit on the small side, but I could have seen 12, 13, 1,400 yards or maybe even the type of player that might get you 8, 900 yards rushing, but also get you 1,000 yards receiving. You know what I mean? Like with the versatility, returning kicks and stuff for he did make it to Pro Bowl I think 1 year as a returner too. But I mean I thought he got a chance to be like an all time great returner. Maybe something in the Devin Hester mode or so he was the best returner ever, but maybe a notch or two below him. Just a verse, just maybe the most versatile NFL player we've seen, but it didn't pan out that way. Like I said, he had a very good NFL career, but like you said, a lot of expectations for him was going to be like Gale Sayers like.
Facts, bro. Number two, man, when you talk about just sheer talent, this might be the best quarterback we've seen, bro. Cam Newton, quarterback, Auburn. 2010 AP All American, Heisman Trophy, and every other, AP College Football Player of the Year and every other trophy that he could possibly won. You know, the way he
Mm-hmm.
put Auburn on his back to win that title, man. Listen, Cam was special. I mean, and Cam was always special. I know he had to do a career reset when he left Florida, at the JUCO and everything, but Cam was a problem, and to see it translate, you know, in the NFL, on rosters that didn't really offer you much. Kelvin Benjamin and Ted Ginn was his weapons as far as receivers go. Now that he had a hell of a tight end, I'll give him that. But outside of that, that offense was pedestrian, man. So Cam was really a problem, bro.
Right. Cam Newton, one of the most physically talented quarterbacks we ever seen. If Joe Burrows didn't have that year he had, he would have had the best year we ever seen from a quarterback if Joe Burrows didn't go off that year where he threw like 59, 60 touchdown passes. But Cam Newton, like you said, he carried that team on his back to a national championship. He was a great player. And in college and for the few years he showed in the NFL. Like you said, if he had better stuff around him in the pros and also had, I mean, even the running game wasn't the world's greatest that he had with him. It was good enough. He had a very good tight end. That was basically it. Ted Ginn was a speed guy. He's one of the. I mean, that would get the ball a deep downfield threat. But Cam, man, and Auburn, he carried that team. I'll never forget that game when they played against Alabama, when Alabama had Julio and they would come up the national championship the year before. They had Julio Jones and what's his name? You know what I'm talking about, Ingram, Mark Ingram, and they had the running back that Trent Richardson and them boys. They were on that team, man, and they were down 24 to nothing to them at Alabama, and Cam carried that team on his back and led them to a victory at Alabama that year. Man, for a single season, like I said, I never seen a player carry a team on his back the way Cam did that year at Auburn.
Man, that's facts. I mean, between college and the NFL, bro, he has two of the greatest seasons just in the history of the sport carrying a team.
He
That's kind
could
of
have.
wild.
He could have. He could have. But I'm gonna tell you one more thing too about Cam too, bruh, that I do believe as well. The NFL didn't protect Cam Newton the way they protect these quarterbacks nowadays. Because I mean, I see some late hits, bad hits on him, and I think that might have produced to him not being where he should have been at.
Oh, I agree, bro. He was getting killed out there. It's
Yeah.
amazing he was able to, put up the numbers he did put up the way he was getting hit.
the way he was getting hit. Yeah, and I thought the NFL was about protecting their quarterbacks. But I think they saw him as being 6'5", 250, 260, whatever. Oh, he could take that, and that's it. But man, he was one of the most intimidating quarterbacks we've seen, though.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Number one, little high rated, a little too high for my liking, but Tim Tebow, quarterback, Florida, three-time AP All-American, Heisman Trophy winner, back-to-back Maxwell Award winner, O'Brien Award, AP College Football Player of the Year, Manning Award winner. Tim Tebow was a video game character as well, man, in Florida. You know, back when Urban Meyer had it jumping, you know, he was, at the center of it all, man. But again, it's not to tear him down or anything. Like we agreed on off camera. I think, he definitely has an argument to be a top 10 player. But number one is a little crazy with some of the players that we've just discussed. So I'm definitely interested to hear what your thoughts on, Tebow.
I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't have him at number one. I think you can make a case for him being top five as well. However, I mean, if you say the word winner, he definitely belongs in the dictionary. Pitcher
Mhm.
belongs in the dictionary as far as winners go. Um, Great college player, of course. Didn't matriculate to the NFL, but he had a lot of talent around him too. Percy Harvin and what's the running back? They had Jeff Demps and all them guys that were there with him. Aaron, that guy, Aaron Hernandez. He had some talent around him, man. You know, but yeah, I think I see better quarterbacks. He wouldn't be on my number one list, but he did. He was a winner, and I think maybe that's what they took into consideration was he won what one or two national championships. He won the Heisman.
Too.
He was in the national. He was a contender for national championship all 4 years. So I'm thinking that's why they put him there at number one.
Yeah, I agree with that logic, brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
The players that we feel should have been here. I'm gonna start it off. We saw
Mm-hmm.
multiple running backs listed. Reggie is in a class of his own, but in my opinion, college wise, this guy was right there. Darren McFadden from the University of Arkansas. He won the Doak Walker
Mm-hmm.
Award back to back, and the numbers he put up, he was a video game character as well. Another really high pick. Ended up with the Raiders, but McFadden he was a beast, bro. Like, and it hurt my heart, because like as a kid, he was probably my favorite running back. To not see him on there, man, because he
Mm-hmm.
really was that dude.
Yeah, Darren McFadden definitely was a great college player. Also, remember he shared a backfield with Felix Jones, who also was a late first round pick as well. So it wasn't like he was back there by himself,
And then I think
running the
one
rock.
year they had Peyton Hillis there too, right?
Was he there? But he was more
I,
of a blocker. I don't think so.
I gotta look, but definitely Felix Jones, bro. He was nice too.
Yeah, he was nice. They had the double back. What they used to call it? Make I forgot what they used to call it. Backfield. But yeah, that was a very good backfield they had.
Hmm Another running back, way more recent, bro. Derrick Henry,
He should be on the
dominant,
list.
dominant,
Should have should have been on the list. Heisman
dominant.
Trophy winner.
2,200 yards in 2015 with with the Heisman and a title. Come on, man.
He carried that team. He was the offense that year in 2015 with Alabama. He had, like you said, he had 2,200 yards. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. How can
Yep.
he not make the top 25 list of 2000 until now? How?
Mhm. Another guy, pro career didn't pan out the way some thought. Listen, man, Johnny Manziel. Listen, problem at Texas A&M, bro.
Problem. Ask Alabama how much of a problem he was. He was a thorn in their side. Nick Saban
Mhm.
could do nothing with him.
Then my last one,
Mm-hmm.
the Honey Badger. Tyron Matthew was dominant, bro.
He could
Dominant,
have
bro.
been. If you have
He
other,
should have been there.
bruh, if you got other, and I mean, if you got other college football players on there, he definitely should have been on that list.
Hmm.
Definitely, definitely should be on the top 25 list. I mean, that year was that his freshman or sophomore? No, I think it's a sophomore year. That's one of the best years you ever see from a corner.
Hmm.
He
That's a
was good,
fact.
and he just retired too recently. So kudos to him. Had a nice NFL career. He made a couple Pro Bowls,
Hmm.
got paid at least. And he was a great player in college.
That's a fact, bro. So I'm interested to see, man, who makes your list of who should have made the cut.
Of course, Derrick Henry. All right, we went over that
Hmm.
pre what you call Derrick Henry. I'm trying another name for you, Adrian Peterson.
Yes, sir. Video game.
Video game numbers. I mean, I know he was hurt, but his freshman year might have been the best freshman year we ever seen from a freshman running back.
Hmm.
That year he was at
Almost
Oklahoma.
2,000 yards as a freshman.
Yeah, as a freshman, I felt as though he should have made the list. Um, man, who he didn't make the list. Maybe he could have, but I'm gonna give you another name because he was very, very good in college. Ah, it could have been Sean Taylor.
Bro, one of the
Sean
most
Taylor
do it
could have made
all
the list.
defensive players. Definitely, bro. One of the most do it all defensive players we've seen.
Yeah, yeah. Sean Taylor was that dude, man. Definitely.
Hmm. Bro, I
Rest
got
in
a
peace
guy I'm
to
gonna
him.
ask you about. Yeah, definitely rest in peace. Now this isn't going back too far, and of course his NFL career ain't go great. But when you hear the name Justin Blackman,
Bruh. Wasted talent. Wasted talent. That's all I gotta say, man. Wasted talent. If he didn't have the alcohol problem, he could have been a great receiver in the NFL.
yep,
Wasted talent.
he another player won back to back best receiver in the country. You know, he was a problem too.
Yeah, he was a problem, man. And I mean, he's a video game number at Oklahoma State as well, man.
Mhm.
But he couldn't put that bottle down, though, bruh.
That's a fact, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so it's my turn on the list.
Yep.
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm going through this list and thinking, nah, that was 99. I was going to put him on the list, but I remember that was 99, 2000. I was going to say Peter Warwick. That's what I was going to say. But Peter
Bro,
Warwick was done by 99, 2000.
bro, that's a player that
Disappointing
I didn't
pro
know
career.
about really. I was a little young during his time, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it was I had seen LeBron talking about him, saying that was his favorite like college player and everything. And
Electrifying.
when I saw him play, oh my goodness, bro.
Electrifying. Yeah, he didn't make the cut because that's 99.
Yep.
Um, who else would I put on that list? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a great defensive player and an offensive player. Who else would be on that list? I can't think of any more. Will I had to go through the
Now, so I'm gonna give you what they got as the honorable mention. So you
yeah,
had AP,
yeah.
Chase Young, they had McFadden, Derrick Henry. Now this is one. This is a good one. James Laurinaitis from Ohio State. He was nice. In
Would I
college, he
put?
was nice.
He was nice to
But
Kai, but if I say it was elite like the players we
mhm.
named, I wouldn't say that. Very, very good career though.
Johnny Football, Justin Blackman, Kellen Moore, who we were talking about, he used to air that ball out.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota, Sean Taylor, Tyron Matthew, and Will Anderson. This is a more modern one from Alabama.
The offensive lineman. Yeah.
Yep.
He
Not
could
a
have been on that
defensive
list.
player. Yep.
Defensive player.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's too soon with him. It's too
Yeah.
soon with him.
Yeah, I agree.
But he was a very, very good. His senior year wasn't as good as his junior year. Was as good as his sophomore year, but he was a very good player. I tell you, I would put on the. I'll tell you, I would put on the list. I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm bugging. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase that year with what you call Joe Burrow threw the ball. I think he had 1,800 some yards and like 20, 21 touchdowns.
Yeah, bro. Chase definitely. Yep.
Chase should have been on the list. And he
Yep.
didn't play his junior year because remember he sat out. He didn't want to get hurt.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
fact.
definitely. Chase, I'm bugging. Jamar Chase.
Hmm. Man, but it's I will give Bleacher Report some credit and grace because I mean it's hard, bro. It's been so many guys that's played the game, you
Yeah.
know, that you're gonna overlook somebody. You're never gonna have what could be considered the perfect list because part of it is subjective as well. But definitely glad we got to kind of give our take on it because
Yeah.
again, all of those guys, man, they did the damn thing in the uniform. But some the ranking was a little egregious, a little too high, a little too low, but all greats nonetheless in the college level. And a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
NFL greats as well.
Yes, sir. Definitely, bro. That is it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So, man, brother, I guess we could about to wrap this up here, man.
Mhm.
Another great show. Um, man, just some games on coming on today. Notre Dame in Miami. You might want to review that just touch on that real quick.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
That's another game I would stay away from too because I know what. Nah, I'm going to stay with this man. I think Notre Dame's going to beat Miami. I think it's going to be a very, very good game, very close game. But I like the Notre Dame running back Love. Excuse me, they got a good defense coming back. So I definitely like Notre Dame in this game by maybe 20, no, 28-24, something like that.
Yeah, hey, love is like he's like that, bro. He's
He reminds
definitely
me
a
of
different player.
Saquon Barkley somewhat.
I agree. I hope we get to see him healthy all season, man. See what kind of numbers he ends up putting up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, bro, I think we need to close the show out here. But before we go, just want to remind people our next show will probably be a post. Well, we'll probably do half NFL because we'll be through like another week. Should be in about another two. No, about another 2 to 3 weeks, definitely. But y'all know what's coming up September 13th to the 21st, the World Track and Field Championships. This is when all the marbles take place. So we got to have a post show with that one about what we saw and what we are about to witness at Worlds. There's been some crazy stuff going on down in the track world too. We ain't gonna get into that stuff. I'm not even talking about the Shikari thing or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. But some other stuff been going down too. You know, but we just wish the individuals well. Definitely wish Fred Curley well. They try to suspend him from whereabouts, and I think Michael Johnson had the right plan for Grand Slam, but bruh, that thing right there is a whole can of worms. A whole people ain't getting paid, and he had a sponsor allegedly, and the sponsor pulled out. There is some other stuff which I'm not going to get into. That it's all online. You can read about it online and stuff. There's some people were saying he didn't have the sponsor. It's ugly, man. It's crazy. So we definitely wish the Grand Slam the best and Mike the best, man. So that way these athletes can get paid, bro. I mean, they train hard, they put everything in, and we just I wish Grand Slam the best because the vision he has could change the trajectory of the track and field world. So I hope everything works out best, bro. But anyway, Will, shout outs to you, brother, as always, being the pilot, maintaining this show, good brother. You know that. We got basketball season around the corner, man. You know, Hopefully Giannis ain't slapping the shit out of his teammates anymore.
That was crazy.
It's like dude wasn't paying attention. Giannis was like, mollywop this dude, like paying attention. That was crazy. But anyway, man, yeah, basketball season's around the corner. College basketball season is going to be ridiculous this year, as far as I'm concerned. It is going to be ridiculous. High school basketball, the transfers are already transferring. We see some crazy stuff over there on that side. High school football has started. Yeah, I've seen a couple good games already. It's that time of year. St. Joe's Prep is 0-2 on the year, but that team down there, that team down there in Baltimore, where you're at, St. Francis, that defense, my goodness, they're playing St. Joe's Prep 2 weeks. So yeah, we got some stuff we're looking forward to. But Will, you got any shout outs, good brother?
Shout out to my co-pilot as always, JP, bro. You know, you keep us locked in. Shout out to my family. Can't do it without them. And you know what? Shout out to Winslow football. They beat IMG this weekend. Hell of a
Now
win.
they actually lost.
Oh, they ended up losing. When I saw
Yeah,
they was
they
up.
played them tough. They lost
Yeah,
35 to
but
14.
hell of a showing from that freshman quarterback.
Oh, for who? For IMG?
No. I believe
No,
it
he's
was
a freshman. Winslow's quarterback is a junior.
okay.
Yeah, the freshman quarterback's from IMG. Yeah. But you know what? Winslow did do a great showing, man. They lost 35 to 14. But IMG gets players from all over the country, man. That's like playing Mount Verde, Oak Hill, whatever in their prime. And Winslow is a local public school. But I tell you what. I don't expect them to lose any more games the rest of this year. They did a good showing against IMG, and Winslow has a lot of good D1 players their own selves on their team. So I mean, IMG didn't blow them completely out. They did give them a little bit of a run, man. So yeah, definitely shout outs to them, bro. Also, I see Camden was down in West Virginia. They won. They beat Martinsburg 42, I think. What was it, 7 something, 41-7 or something like that. So they had a freshman quarterback that threw 3 touchdowns in the first half.
I think that's who I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That's me. I
Yeah.
was mixed up. But hey, shout out to New Jersey, man. Holding their own.
New Jersey, Bergen Catholic beat East St. Louis, although East St. Louis coach from Camden, Darren Sunkett, doing a great job at East St. Louis, made their national power again. And they lost on the fluke play, man, on a botch punt in the closing seconds of the game against Bergen Catholic, was a perennial power. So is East St. Louis. They lost 22-21, which I heard was a very thrilling game down in Ocean City, New Jersey. I don't know why they play that game on a Thursday night. It should have been like on a Saturday or Saturday afternoon game because, I mean, you got 2 of the best teams in the country. So why couldn't you play that game at Rutgers? But I don't want to get into the politics of why people do crazy things when you have 2 nationally ranked teams that are playing. They could play them like on the weekend. But then again, it's short traffic. But then again, short traffic was crazy on Thursday as well. So, but yeah, shouts to those teams that put on a great performance this weekend down in Ocean City too. But on behalf of me, we'll see you on the flip side real soon, y'all. Peace.
Peace.